Chosen one, stop everything right now. This is not a coincidence. This is not just another video. This is a divine interruption, a sacred moment where heaven itself is pressing pause on the chaos of your life to deliver a message so personal, so urgent, that Jesus himself is reaching out to you, yes, you, with a warning wrapped in love, a call to awaken your soul to the destiny that's been waiting for you all along. Picture a radiant scroll unfurling in the heavens, your name written in shimmering light, each letter pulsing with purpose. That's how close this message is to your heart. You've been sensing it, haven't you? The restlessness in your spirit, the dreams that jolt you awake, the quiet whispers in your soul that something monumental is about to shift. You're not imagining it. This is your divine moment, and Jesus is desperately calling you to step into it before the noise of the world drowns out his voice. Let's be real. Life hasn't been easy. You've been carrying burdens so heavy they feel like anchors pulling you under. Financial struggles that keep you up at night, relationships that drain your light, and a fear that maybe, just maybe, you've missed your chance. You've wondered if God sees you, if he hears the prayers you've whispered in the dark, the ones soaked in tears you didn't let anyone else see. You've faced betrayal, rejection, moments where you gave everything and got nothing in return, and yet here you are, still standing, still hoping, still believing. That's not weakness, chosen one. That's divine strength. Every tear, every sleepless night, every door that slammed shut wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Jesus has been watching, collecting every moment of your pain, weaving it into a tapestry of purpose that's about to be unveiled. As it's written in Psalm 56:8, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Not one drop has been wasted." This video is different. It's not about vague promises or fluffy encouragement. It's a wake-up call to step out of fear and into the divine purpose that's been etched into your soul since before you were born. The unique angle of this message is this: your deepest fears, the ones that make your heart race, the ones that whisper you're not enough, are not your enemies. They're the very keys to your greatest breakthroughs. Imagine a locked door, ancient and towering, with your destiny waiting on the other side. Your fear is the key, trembling in your hand, waiting for you to turn it. Jesus is reaching out, not to shame you, but to guide your hand, to show you that the things you've been running from are the very pathways to your spiritual awakening. Let's talk about that fear for a moment. Maybe it's the fear of failure, the voice that says you'll never get out of debt, never heal that broken relationship, never start that dream you've buried under years of excuses. Or maybe it's the fear of being seen, of stepping into the light and letting the world know who you really are. You've dimmed your shine to fit in, to avoid judgment, to keep the peace. But, chosen one, peace at the cost of your purpose is no peace at all. Jesus is warning you, staying small, staying silent, staying stuck is not what you were created for. You were made to be a city on a hill, a light that cannot be hidden, as Matthew 5:14 declares. The world needs your voice, your gifts, your courage, and right now, heaven is aligning to give you the breakthrough you've been praying for. Not just financial freedom, not just emotional healing, but a prosperous life overflowing with divine provision and unshakable peace. Let me share a story to make this real. There was a woman named Sarah, a single mother in her late 30s, drowning in medical bills after her son's illness. She worked 2 jobs, barely scraping by, her faith hanging by a thread. Every night she'd pray, "God, do you see me? Am I invisible?" Fear told her she'd never escape the cycle of lack, but one day, in a moment of desperation, she wrote down a single goal: to start a small baking business, something she'd dreamed of since she was a girl. It felt impossible, but she took one step, posting a photo of her homemade cupcakes on social media. Within days, orders poured in. A local church offered her a kitchen to bake in for free. A stranger, moved by her story, donated enough to cover her son's next treatment. Today, Sarah's business is thriving, her son is healthy, and she's mentoring other women to chase their dreams. Her fear of failure became the doorway to her divine provision. That's what Jesus is offering you. A chance to turn your fear into faith, your pain into purpose. If this message is stirring something in your soul, if you feel that spark of hope igniting, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks. Your gift helps us spread this message of divine purpose and personal transformation to more chosen ones like you, lighting the way for their breakthroughs. Every contribution is a seed planted in the fertile ground of heaven's economy. Now, let's get practical. Jesus isn't just calling you to feel inspired. He's calling you to act. Here are 3 specific steps you can take right now to step into your destiny and unlock the divine provision waiting for you. First, write down one goal for this week. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's applying for a job, starting a blog, or even praying for 5 minutes each morning. Write it in a journal, on your phone, anywhere you'll see it daily. Habakkuk 2:2 says, "Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it." Your written goal is a prophetic act, a declaration to heaven that you're ready to move. Second, call or message someone you need to forgive. Maybe it's a friend who betrayed you, a family member who hurt you, or even yourself for past mistakes. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about clearing the clutter from your heart so God's abundance can flow. Third, start that project you've been delaying. Whether it's a business idea, a book, or a conversation you've avoided, take one tangible step today. Register a domain name, sketch a logo, or simply tell someone your dream out loud. These steps are your holy yes to Jesus' urgent call. But what if you're thinking, "I've tried before and it didn't work"? Chosen one, your past attempts weren't failures, they were rehearsals. Every time you stepped out and fell, you were building the resilience to carry the blessings coming your way. Jesus is reaching out because now is your divine timing. Picture a golden hourglass in heaven, each grain of sand a moment of your preparation. The last grain has fallen, and the door to your breakthrough is swinging open. The fear that's held you back is not a wall, it's a veil, thin and fragile, waiting for you to tear it down with faith. As Isaiah 41:10 promises, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Your spiritual awakening is here, and it's personal. Let's pause for a moment to connect. If this message is resonating, if you feel Jesus' voice echoing in your soul, type, "I am stepping into my destiny," in the comments below. Let heaven see your declaration, and let this community of chosen ones stand with you. Your words are a beacon, drawing divine provision closer. Share your story, your fears, your hopes, because you're not alone in this faith journey. Now imagine this, a river of abundance flowing toward you, its waters sparkling with opportunities, healing and joy. But there's a dam of doubt blocking its path, built from years of what-ifs and not-yets. Jesus is warning you to dismantle that dam, not with force, but with trust. Your fears are not signs you're unworthy, they're invitations to lean deeper into God's plan. Think about Peter, called to walk on water in Matthew 14. The storm was raging, the waves were crashing, and fear screamed at him to turn back. But Jesus' voice was louder, "Come." Peter stepped out, and for a moment he walked on the impossible. Even when he sank, Jesus didn't let him drown, he lifted him up. That's what's happening now. Your fears are the water beneath your feet, and Jesus is calling you to walk anyway. Let's ground this in another story. Michael, a 45-year-old teacher, felt trapped in a job that drained his soul. He dreamed of opening a community center for at-risk youth, but was paralyzed by fear of financial ruin. One Sunday, during a sermon, he heard a verse, Philippians 4:19, "And my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus." It hit him like lightning. He took a small step. He wrote a proposal for his center and shared it with a colleague. That colleague connected him to a local philanthropist. Within months, Michael secured a grant, quit his job, and opened his center. Today, he's impacting hundreds of lives, living a prosperous life not just in wealth, but in purpose. His fear of lack became the spark for his wealth creation. This isn't about chasing money or fame. It's about stepping into the divine purpose that unlocks overflowing blessings. Your breakthrough isn't a distant dream. It's a reality. Heaven is orchestrating right now. Jesus is reaching out, not with judgment, but with an invitation to trust him fully. Picture a golden key in his hand, etched with your name, ready to unlock the doors of your destiny. Will you take it? Will you let go of the fear that's kept you small and step into the personal transformation God has planned for you? The urgency of this moment can't be overstated. Jesus is calling you because the world is waiting for what you carry. Your gifts, your story, your light. They're not just for you. They're for the people God has destined you to touch. Maybe it's a child who needs your encouragement, a co-worker who needs your wisdom, or a community that needs your vision. Your spiritual awakening is the catalyst for a ripple effect of hope. As Romans 8:19 says, "For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God." That's you, chosen one. Creation is waiting for you to rise. But what if the fear feels too big, the step too risky? That's where faith comes in. Faith isn't the absence of fear, it's the courage to move through it. Jesus isn't asking you to have all the answers, he's asking you to trust the one who does. Your divine purpose doesn't depend on your perfection, it depends on your willingness. Those 3 steps, writing a goal, forgiving someone, starting your project, are your act of faith, your way of saying, "Jesus, I hear you, and I'm ready." They're not just tasks, they're secret commitments to your faith journey. Let's paint another picture. Imagine a garden hidden beneath years of weeds and neglect. That's your life before this moment, full of potential but buried under fear and doubt. Jesus is the gardener, pulling back the weeds, revealing the vibrant blooms of your destiny. Each step you take is a seed planted in that garden, destined to grow into a harvest of abundance. Your financial freedom, your emotional healing, your prosperous life, they're not fantasies, they're the fruit of your obedience. As Galatians 6:9 encourages, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." Your season is now. This message is for the weary, the overlooked, the ones who've felt invisible. Jesus sees you, he's reaching out, not with a generic call, but with a personal invitation to step into the life you were born for. Your fears are not your fate, they're your fuel. They're the raw material God is using to build your breakthrough. So, chosen one, will you answer? Will you take the key, turn the lock, and walk through the door of your divine moment? The choice is yours, but the promise is His. And that promise is unshakable. What's waiting on the other side of your fear? A life of overflow, where provision chases you, where peace guards your heart, where your purpose lights up the world. Jesus is reaching out, desperately, urgently, because he knows what's at stake. Your destiny isn't just about you. It's about the legacy you'll leave, the lives you'll touch, the miracles you'll carry. But what if the fear you're facing is the very doorway to your divine provision? Chosen one, let's dive deeper into this sacred moment, where the urgency of Jesus' call is not just a whisper but a thunderous invitation to step boldly into the life you were destined to live. Picture a vast ocean, its waves crashing with purpose, each one carrying a promise from heaven, surging toward the shore of your soul. That's the force of this message, rushing to meet you exactly where you are, washing away the doubts that have clung to you like seaweed and revealing the treasures buried beneath your fears. Jesus is reaching out, not to pull you into something unfamiliar, but to draw you back to the truth of who you've always been. A vessel of divine light, a carrier of miracles, a beacon of hope in a world that's starving for it. You might be wondering why this call feels so personal, so piercing. It's because your life is not random. Every struggle, every moment of uncertainty, every time you felt overlooked or misunderstood was part of a divine orchestration, a symphony composed by the hands of God Himself. Your fears, the ones that make your chest tighten, the ones that tell you you're not ready, not worthy, not enough, are not accident. They're sacred signals pointing you toward the areas where your greatest growth awaits. Think of David, a shepherd boy facing Goliath in 1 Samuel 17. His fear was real. His knees trembled, his heart raced. But that fear didn't disqualify him. It qualified him, because it forced him to rely on God's strength instead of his own. Your fears are doing the same, chosen one. They're not here to stop you, they're here to stretch you, to prepare you for the giant-sized destiny that's unfolding. Let's make this vivid. Imagine a golden compass in your hand, its needle spinning wildly, searching for true north. That's your soul right now, yearning for direction, for clarity, for confirmation that you're on the right path. Jesus is the true north, and His warning is the steady hand guiding that needle to point toward your divine purpose. He's not calling you to a life of struggle or scarcity, but to a prosperous life where abundance flows like a river, where your gifts become the currency of heaven's economy. This isn't about chasing wealth for its own sake. It's about stepping into a faith journey where your needs are met, your dreams are funded, and your heart is free to love without fear. As Deuteronomy 8:18 reminds us, remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. Your prosperity is not a luxury, it's a divine assignment. Now, let's ground this in a story that feels like it could be yours. There was a man named James, a 32-year-old graphic designer who felt stuck in a dead-end job, his creativity stifled by a boss who dismissed his ideas. Fear of rejection kept him silent, his portfolio gathering dust, his dreams of starting his own design studio fading with each passing day. But one evening, scrolling through social media, he stumbled across a quote from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. It struck him like a lightning bolt. He took one of the steps we've shared. He wrote down a goal to pitch his designs to a local startup. With shaky hands, he sent the email. The next day, they called him for a meeting. Within weeks, he had his first client, and today, James runs a thriving studio, creating art that inspires thousands. His fear of rejection became the spark for his personal transformation, proving that what scares you most is often the gateway to your breakthrough. If this message is igniting a fire in your spirit, if you feel Jesus' voice urging you to rise, take a moment to connect with this community of chosen ones. Type, "I am claiming my divine purpose" in the comments below. Let your words be a bold declaration to heaven, a signal that you're ready to walk in the overflow of God's plan. Your comment isn't just a gesture, it's a prophetic act, aligning you with the miracles waiting to unfold. Let's explore what this divine purpose looks like in your everyday life. It's not about grand gestures or overnight success. It's about the small, faithful choices that build a legacy of impact. Maybe your purpose is to write a book that heals broken hearts, to start a business that employs the overlooked, or to simply be a light in your family, showing them what faith looks like in action. Whatever it is, Jesus is warning you that delaying your purpose delays the blessings tied to it. Your 3 steps: writing a goal, forgiving someone, starting your project, are not random. They're strategic, designed to break the chains of procrastination, resentment, and fear that have kept you from your destiny. Each step is a brick in the foundation of your prosperous life. A life where divine provision meets sacred obedience. But let's address the elephant in the room. What if you feel unworthy? What if the voice in your head says, "Who am I to be chosen? I've messed up too many times." Chosen one, hear this. Your worthiness isn't based on your past, it's based on God's promise. Look at Moses in Exodus 3. He was a fugitive, a stutterer, a man who felt disqualified by his failures. Yet God chose him to lead a nation, saying, "I will be with you." Jesus is saying the same to you. Your imperfections don't cancel your calling. They amplify it because they force you to lean on His grace. Your spiritual awakening is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming available. Picture a lighthouse standing firm against a stormy sea, its beam cutting through the fog, guiding ships to safety. That's you, chosen one. Your life, with all its scars and struggles, is a lighthouse for others. Your decision to face your fears, to take those 3 steps, isn't just for you, it's for the people watching, the ones who need to see what it looks like to trust God in the middle of a storm. Your faith journey is a testimony, a living proof that divine provision follows those who dare to obey. As Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." Your faith is the bridge between your fears and your future. Let's weave in another story to bring this home. Maria, a 50-year-old nurse, spent years caring for others while neglecting her own dreams of opening a wellness center. Fear of financial failure kept her stuck, her savings dwindling as she supported her aging parents. But one day, inspired by a sermon on John 10:10, "I came that they may have life and have it abundantly," she took a step. She forgave herself for past financial mistakes, wrote a business plan, and started offering free wellness workshops in her community. A local gym owner attended one, loved her vision, and offered to partner with her. Today, Maria's center is a haven for hundreds, and she's living a life of abundance, not just in finances, but in joy and purpose. Her fear of lack became the catalyst for her wealth creation. This is what Jesus is calling you to. A life where fear doesn't dictate your choices, where your purpose becomes your compass, and where divine provision flows like a stream in the desert. Your breakthrough is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle, a daily decision to trust that God's plan is bigger than your doubts. Those 3 steps are your starting point. But they're not the end. They're the spark that ignites a fire of transformation, burning away the lies that have held you back and illuminating the path to your destiny. Now, imagine a tapestry hanging in heaven, each thread a moment of your life, your joys, your pains, your fears, your victories. Jesus is the master weaver, pulling every thread together to create a masterpiece that tells the story of your divine purpose. Your fears are not flaws in the design. They're the bold colors that make the tapestry vibrant. Every time you choose faith over fear, you add a new thread, making the picture clearer, more beautiful, more eternal. As Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." Your life is God's artwork, and this moment is where the colors start to shine. But what if the next step feels too daunting? What if the fear of change, of loss, of the unknown feels like a mountain you can't climb? That's where Jesus' warning becomes a lifeline. He's not calling you to climb alone. He's climbing with you, carrying the weight, lighting the path. Your 3 steps are not about perfection. They're about partnership, about saying, "Jesus, I trust you enough to move. Your goal, your forgiveness, your project." They're acts of worship, offerings laid at his feet, trusting that he'll multiply them beyond your imagination. Let's connect again. If this message is stirring your heart, if you feel the urgency of Jesus' call to rise above your fears, type "I am walking in my divine provision" in the comments below. Let your words be a banner, a declaration that you're choosing faith over fear, purpose over procrastination. This community is your support, your reminder that you're not walking this path alone. Now, let's shift to the bigger picture. Your destiny isn't just about personal success. It's about generational impact. The steps you take today, the fears you conquer, are breaking chains that have bound your family, your community, maybe even your lineage. Picture a tree, its roots deep in the earth, its branches stretching toward the sky. Your faith is the root, anchoring you in God's promises, and your actions are the branches, bearing fruit for others to taste. Your divine purpose is not selfish, it's sacrificial, a gift to the world that only you can give. As Isaiah 61:7 promises, "Instead of your shame there shall be a double portion, instead of dishonor they shall rejoice in their lot." Your breakthrough is the seed for someone else's blessing. Let's bring this to life with one more story. Rachel, a 28-year-old writer, lived in the shadow of self-doubt, her manuscripts rejected time and again. Fear of criticism kept her from sharing her work, her dream of publishing a novel fading with each no. But one morning, inspired by Psalm 138:8, "The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me," she took a step. She forgave the editor who harshly critiqued her, wrote a new chapter and submitted it to a small press. They loved it, offered her a contract, and today her novel is inspiring readers worldwide, a testament to God's plan unfolding through her persistence. Her fear of rejection became the fuel for her personal transformation, proving that divine provision follows those who trust. This is the heart of Jesus' warning. Don't let fear steal what heaven has already released. Your destiny is not a distant hope. It's a present reality waiting for you to claim it. Your 3 steps are the keys, unlocking doors you didn't even know existed. But what if the greatest miracle isn't the provision itself, but the person you become in the process? What if the real breakthrough is the courage you find, the faith you build, the love you share as you step into the life Jesus is calling you to? Chosen one, let's step even deeper into this divine encounter where Jesus' urgent call is not just a moment, but a movement, a sacred shift that's pulling you out of the shadows and into the radiant light of your God-given destiny. Visualize a majestic bridge stretching across a turbulent river, its pillars rooted in eternity, its path shimmering with golden promise. That bridge is your faith, and Jesus is standing at the far end, his arms outstretched, beckoning you to cross from fear to freedom, from doubt to divine purpose. Each step you take, those 3 sacred acts of writing your goal, forgiving someone and starting your project, is a footfall on that bridge, a declaration that you're ready to leave behind the weight of what was and embrace the glory of what's to come. This moment is alive with possibility, pulsing with the energy of heaven's intention for your life. You've felt it, haven't you? The stirring in your chest, the quiet knowing that something bigger is at play, even when the world around you feels small or chaotic. That's the Holy Spirit, whispering truth your soul has always known, but your fears have tried to silence. Jesus' warning is not one of condemnation, but of awakening. A clarion call to recognize that your fears, the ones that make you hesitate, the ones that tell you to play it safe, are not roadblocks, but invitations. They're the rough edges of a diamond, waiting to be polished by your courage, revealing the brilliance of your spiritual awakening. As 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." Your fears are the raw material for your transformation, and Jesus is reaching out to shape them into something eternal. Let's paint a picture to make this vivid. Imagine a locked chest, ancient and ornate, hidden in the depths of a forest. Inside it lies your destiny, your dreams, your purpose, your overflowing blessings. The key to that chest is not found in perfection or certainty, but in the very fears you've been avoiding. Each time you face a fear, whether it's the fear of starting over, the fear of being vulnerable, or the fear of not having enough, you turn the key a little more, inching closer to unlocking the treasures God has stored for you. Your 3 steps are the turns of that key, practical yet prophetic, grounding your faith in action. Writing your goal is a commitment to clarity, forgiving someone is a release of burdens, and starting your project is a bold step into creation. These acts are not just tasks, they're sacred rituals, aligning you with the divine provision that's already on its way. To bring this to life, let's share a story of someone like you. There was a woman named Leah, a 40-year-old librarian who felt invisible, her passion for storytelling buried under years of routine and self-doubt. Fear of judgment kept her from sharing her poetry, her notebooks filled with verses she thought no one would care about. But one day, during a quiet moment at work, she read Joshua 1:9. "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." It struck her deeply. She took a step. She forgave herself for years of hiding, wrote a goal to read 1 poem at an open mic, and submitted her work to a local literary event. That night, her poem moved the audience to tears, and a publisher in the crowd offered to feature her in an anthology. Today, Leah's poetry is touching lives across the country, a testament to her prosperous life rooted in courage. Her fear of being unseen became the spark for her personal transformation, proving that divine purpose blooms where faith is planted. If this message is resonating, if you feel the fire of Jesus' call burning in your soul, pause and join this community of chosen ones. Type "I am unlocking my destiny" in the comments below. Let your words be a beacon, a signal to heaven that you're ready to embrace the abundance and purpose God has prepared. Your comment is more than a gesture, it's a covenant, a moment where you align your heart with the miracles waiting to unfold. Now let's explore what it means to live in this divine flow, where fear no longer dictates your rhythm and your faith becomes the heartbeat of your days. Your destiny is not a single event, it's a way of being, a daily choice to trust that Jesus is not just reaching out, but walking beside you, guiding every step. Your 3 steps are the foundation, but they're also the spark for a lifestyle of boldness and expectation. Imagine waking each morning with a quiet confidence, knowing that your needs are covered, your path is illuminated, and your purpose is unfolding. This is the prosperous life Jesus is calling you to, not one defined by material wealth alone, but by a richness of spirit, a wealth of impact, a legacy of love. Consider the story of Esther in the Bible. In Esther 4, she faced a terrifying choice: risk her life by approaching the king uninvited, or stay silent and let her people perish. Fear gripped her, but she chose courage, saying, "If I perish, I perish." Her step of faith, approaching the king, was not just for her, but for an entire nation. Your steps, though they may feel small, carry the same weight. Writing your goal could inspire someone watching you. Forgiving someone could heal a rift that changes a family. Starting your project could create opportunities for others. Your faith journey is not solitary. It's a ripple, touching lives you may never meet. As Matthew 25:21 says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little, I will set you over much." Your faithfulness in these steps is the seed for your breakthrough. Let's make this practical and personal. Your fears are unique, aren't they? Maybe it's the fear of loneliness, the ache of wondering if you'll ever find your tribe, your partner, your place. Or perhaps it's the fear of scarcity, the nagging worry that there won't be enough. Money, time, energy. Jesus sees those fears, and his warning is a promise. You are not alone, and you are not lacking. Your 3 steps are your way of saying, "I trust you." They're not about fixing everything overnight. They're about opening your hands to receive what heaven has already released. Picture a seed planted in rich soil, its roots reaching deep, its sprout breaking through the earth. That's your life right now, rooted in faith, breaking through fear, reaching for the light of God's plan. To ground this further, let's share another story. Daniel, a 35-year-old mechanic, dreamed of opening a trade school for underprivileged youth, but was paralyzed by fear of financial ruin. His bank account was barely enough to cover rent, let alone a venture. But one evening, inspired by Romans 15:13, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing," he took a step. He forgave a former business partner who cheated him, wrote a goal to create a 1-page proposal, and started by offering free car repair workshops at his church. A local nonprofit heard about his work and funded his first class. Today, Daniel's school trains dozens of young people, and he's living a life of divine provision. His fear of failure transformed into a legacy of empowerment. This is what Jesus' urgent call is about, transforming your fears into fuel for your destiny. Your 3 steps are not just actions, they're declarations of trust, bridges from where you are to where God is leading you. But let's go deeper. What if your fears are not just personal but spiritual? What if they're attacks, distractions, designed to keep you from your calling? Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness." Your fears are not just emotions, they're battlegrounds. And Jesus is equipping you to win. Imagine a warrior, clad in armor forged in heaven, standing firm against a storm of arrows. That's you, chosen one, armed with the shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit, and the helmet of salvation. Your 3 steps are your battle cries, your way of standing firm and saying, "I will not be moved." Writing your goal is a strike against procrastination. Forgiving someone is a blow to bitterness. Your project is a victory over fear. Each step strengthens your armor, making you unstoppable in the pursuit of your divine purpose. Let's connect again. If this message is stirring your soul, if you feel Jesus' warning igniting a holy courage within you, type "I am fearless in my faith" in the comments below. Let your words echo in the heavens, a testament to your commitment to rise above fear and claim the abundance God has promised. This community is your army, standing with you as you march toward your breakthrough. Now let's shift to the beauty of what's unfolding. Your destiny is not just about overcoming, it's about becoming. Every fear you face, every step you take, is shaping you into the person God dreamed of when He formed you. Picture a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, each strike revealing more of the masterpiece within. Your fears are the chips falling away, your steps the careful cuts that bring your true self to light. This is your personal transformation. A journey from surviving to thriving, from hiding to shining, from doubting to declaring. As Philippians 1:6 assures, "He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion." Your destiny is not a question mark, it's a guarantee. But what does this look like in the messiness of daily life? It's not always dramatic miracles or instant answers. Sometimes it's the quiet victory of choosing hope over despair, of speaking kindly when you're hurt, of trusting God when the bank account is low. Your 3 steps are your anchor, keeping you steady as you navigate the waves of uncertainty. They're your way of partnering with Jesus, of saying, "I'm ready to co-create my prosperous life." And that partnership is where the magic happens, where ideas spark, doors open, and provision flows in ways you never imagined. Let's bring this home with one more story. Grace, a 29-year-old teacher, felt trapped in a cycle of burnout. Her dream of launching an online tutoring platform stifled by fear of technology and failure. But one morning, reading Psalm 32:8, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go," she felt a nudge. She forgave a colleague who discouraged her, wrote a goal to learn one digital tool, and started filming a sample lesson. She posted it online, and within days, students signed up. A tech-savvy friend offered to build her website for free, and today Grace's platform serves hundreds. Her fear of the unknown transformed into a thriving mission. Her steps were small, but they unlocked a wealth of impact. This is Jesus' promise. Your fears are not the end of your story, they're the beginning of your triumph. Your 3 steps are the keys to a life of divine provision, where every need is met, every dream is possible, and every fear is a stepping stone to your destiny. But what if the greatest adventure is not what you achieve, but who you inspire along the way? What if your courage becomes the spark that lights a fire in someone else's soul, setting off a chain reaction of hope and transformation? Chosen one, let's press further into this sacred space where Jesus' urgent warning is not just a call, but a divine current, pulling you toward a destiny so vibrant it outshines every shadow of fear you've ever faced. Envision a vast canyon, its walls carved by the winds of eternity, a narrow path winding through it, illuminated by a soft, golden glow. That path is your journey, and Jesus is walking ahead, His presence a steady flame, guiding you through the echoes of doubt and the whispers of what might have been. Your fears, the ones that clutch at your heart, the ones that make you question if you're truly chosen, are not barriers. They're signposts, pointing you toward the depths of your divine purpose, urging you to dig deeper, to rise higher, to claim the abundant life that's been written in the stars since before time began. This moment is electric, charged with the weight of heaven's intention. You've sensed it, haven't you? The way certain conversations spark something in you, the way a random song or a fleeting thought feels like a message meant just for you. That's Jesus, reaching out through the ordinary to remind you of the extraordinary. Your fears, whether it's the dread of stepping into the unknown, the worry that you'll be judged, or the anxiety that you're not equipped are not your truth. They're the fog that obscures the mountain of your calling. And Jesus' warning is the wind, clearing the mist, revealing the peak you were born to climb. As Isaiah 43:1 declares, "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine." Your fears are not your identity, they're the canvas on which God is painting your breakthrough. Let's make this tangible. Picture a weathered journal, its pages yellowed but blank, waiting for your hand to write the next chapter of your life. That journal is your soul, and the ink is your courage, ready to spill stories of triumph, faith, and divine provision. Your 3 steps, writing a goal, forgiving someone, starting your project, are the first lines in that chapter, bold strokes that set the tone for a narrative of personal transformation. Writing your goal is a vow to dream again. Forgiving someone is a release of old ink that stained your pages. And starting your project is the act of turning the page to a new story. These steps are not just actions, they're holy declarations, signaling to heaven that you're ready to co-author your destiny with the Creator. To anchor this, let's share a story that feels close to home. There was a man named Caleb, a 42-year-old carpenter who felt trapped in a cycle of odd jobs. His dream of building custom furniture crushed by fear of financial instability. He'd sketch designs late at night, only to hide them, convinced no one would value his work. But one day, while fixing a pew at his church, he overheard Psalm 37:4, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." It hit him like a hammer. He took a step. He forgave a client who'd shorted him, wrote a goal to showcase one piece at a local fair, and started crafting a table from reclaimed wood. At the fair, a boutique owner bought it on the spot and commissioned more. Today, Caleb's furniture graces homes across the region, his fear of scarcity transformed into a prosperous life of creativity and impact. His small steps unlocked a flood of divine provision, proving that faith turns dreams into reality. If this message is stirring your spirit, if you feel Jesus' voice urging you to rewrite your story, join this community of chosen ones. Type, "I am writing my destiny" in the comments below. Let your words be a spark, a signal to heaven that you're ready to embrace the wealth creation and purpose God has ordained. Your comment is a thread in the tapestry of this movement, weaving you into a community that's rising together. Now let's explore the texture of this divine call. Your destiny is not a straight line, it's a mosaic, each piece a moment of courage, a choice to trust, a step through fear. Your 3 steps are the cornerstones, but they're also the invitation to live with intention, to see every day as a canvas for God's artistry. Imagine waking to a sunrise that feels like a personal promise, each ray whispering, "You are enough." That's the life Jesus is calling you to. A faith journey where your fears become the brushstrokes of a masterpiece, where your obedience paints a picture of abundance that inspires others. This is not about perfection. It's about presence, about showing up as the chosen one you are, even when your knees tremble. Let's look at Ruth from the Bible, a woman who faced fear head-on in Ruth 1. Widowed, far from home, she could have clung to the familiar, but fear of the unknown didn't stop her. She chose to follow Naomi, declaring, "Where you go, I will go." Her step of faith led her to Boaz, to redemption, to a legacy in the lineage of Christ. Your 3 steps carry the same power. Writing your goal could lead you to unexpected allies. Forgiving someone could open your heart to new connections, and starting your project could position you in rooms you never dreamed of entering. As Proverbs 16:9 says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." Your steps are the plan, but Jesus is the establisher, guiding you to your breakthrough. Let's make this real for you. Your fears are specific, aren't they? Maybe it's the fear of vulnerability, the hesitation to share your true self because you've been hurt before. Or perhaps it's the fear of time running out, the worry that you're too old, too late, too far behind. Jesus' warning is a reminder. Your timeline is not the world's timeline. Your 3 steps are your way of stepping into God's calendar, where every moment is ripe with possibility. Picture a clock in heaven, its hands moving not by seconds, but by faith. Each tick marking a moment when you choose trust over trepidation. Your goal, your forgiveness, your project. They're the chimes of that clock, ringing out your readiness for divine provision. To bring this closer, let's share another story. Aisha, a 33-year-old barista, dreamed of opening a community cafe but was paralyzed by fear of debt. She'd seen her parents struggle financially, and the thought of loans kept her stuck. But one night, inspired by John 16:33, "In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world," she acted. She forgave her father for his financial mistakes, wrote a goal to create a crowdfunding page, and started hosting pop-up coffee events. A local investor attended one, loved her vision, and offered seed funding. Today, Aisha's cafe is a hub for artists and dreamers, her fear of debt transformed into a legacy of community. Her steps were simple, but they unlocked a wealth of purpose. This is the essence of Jesus' call. Your fears are not your fate. They're your forge, shaping you into a vessel of divine purpose. Your 3 steps are the hammer and anvil, crafting your life into something unbreakable. But let's go deeper. What if your fears are not just internal but external? What if they're the voices of others, critics, doubters, even loved ones, who say you're dreaming too big, reaching too far? Jesus sees those voices, and his warning is a shield, protecting your heart from their arrows. As Psalm 27:1 declares, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" Your fears are not your masters. God is. Imagine a stage. Its spotlight trained on you, the audience, a mix of supporters and skeptics. Your 3 steps are your performance, not for their applause, but for heaven's glory. Writing your goal is your opening line, forgiving someone is your emotional crescendo, and starting your project is your grand finale. The skeptics may whisper, but the spotlight of God's favor drowns them out. Your faith journey is your script, and Jesus is your director, guiding every scene. This is your moment to shine, to show the world what it looks like when a chosen one rises above fear and steps into a prosperous life. Let's connect again. If this message is fueling your courage, if you feel Jesus' warning awakening a holy boldness within you, type "I am shining in my purpose" in the comments below. Let your words be a flare lighting up the sky for heaven to see, joining you with a community that's cheering for your breakthrough. This is more than a comment, it's a vow. A moment where you stake your claim on the abundance God has promised. Now, let's shift to the rhythm of this divine movement. Your destiny is not a solo act, it's a symphony, with every note of your life playing in harmony with God's plan. Your fears are the minor chords, adding depth to the melody, making the major chords of your victories even sweeter. Your 3 steps are the tempo, setting the pace for a life of divine provision. Imagine a conductor, his baton raised, guiding an orchestra of opportunities, relationships, and blessings. That's Jesus, orchestrating your life with precision, turning your fears into a song that echoes through eternity. Let's ground this with one more story. Marcus, a 27-year-old photographer, felt trapped in a corporate job, his passion for capturing beauty stifled by fear of instability. He'd take photos on weekends, but fear of leaving his steady paycheck kept him from pursuing his art full-time. But one day, reading Ecclesiastes 3:1, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven," he felt a shift. He forgave a mentor who'd dismissed his talent, wrote a goal to exhibit his work, and started a social media page for his photography. A gallery owner saw his posts and offered him a show. Today, Marcus travels the world, his fear of uncertainty transformed into a career of impact. His steps were the notes that started his symphony. This is Jesus' promise. Your fears are not the end of your song. They're the prelude to your crescendo. Your 3 steps are the melody, carrying you toward a life of divine purpose, where every fear becomes a note in the anthem of your personal transformation. But what if the greatest gift is not the destination, but the music you create along the way? What if your courage, your faith, your steps become the harmony that inspires others to find their own rhythm, to dance to the beat of God's plan? Chosen one, let's plunge even deeper into this divine current, where Jesus' urgent warning is a clarion call, a sacred pulse that's vibrating through your very being, pulling you toward a destiny so radiant it casts every fear into shadow. Picture a vast desert, its sands stretching endlessly under a starlit sky, and in the center, a single oasis, its waters shimmering with promise, surrounded by palm trees heavy with fruit. That oasis is your divine purpose, a place of abundance and rest that Jesus is leading you to, step by faithful step. Your fears, the ones that whisper, "You're too broken, too late, or too small," are not chains, they're mirages, illusions that dissolve as you draw closer to the truth of who you are in God's eyes, a chosen vessel for a prosperous life, a beacon for His glory. This moment is alive with divine energy, a holy intersection where heaven meets earth, where Jesus' voice cuts through the noise of your doubts like a lighthouse beam piercing the fog. You've felt it, haven't you? The way a quiet moment in prayer feels charged with meaning. The way a stranger's kind word or a sudden burst of clarity feels like a direct message from above. That's Jesus, reaching out with a warning that's really a promise. Your fears are not your future. They're the stepping stones to your spiritual awakening. As Psalm 34:4 declares, "I sought the Lord, and He answered me and delivered me from all my fears." Your fears are the raw clay in the potter's hands, and Jesus is molding them into a masterpiece of divine provision and purpose. Let's make this vivid. Imagine a towering mountain, its peak hidden in clouds, a narrow trail winding upward, each step a challenge but also a revelation. That trail is your faith journey, and your fears are the loose rocks underfoot, testing your balance but strengthening your resolve. Your 3 steps: writing a goal, forgiving someone, starting your project, are your footholds, grounding you as you climb toward your breakthrough. Writing your goal is like planting a flag, claiming your intention. Forgiving someone is like shedding a heavy pack, freeing you to move higher. Starting your project is like reaching a ledge, a place to pause and see how far you've come. These steps are not just actions, they're sacred markers, guiding you to the summit of your destiny. To bring this to life, let's share a story that echoes your own. There was a woman named Naomi, a 38-year-old social worker who felt trapped in a cycle of burnout. Her dream of starting a non-profit for foster youth buried under fear of failure. She'd lie awake, worrying she didn't have the resources or the know-how. But one Sunday a verse hit her heart. Isaiah 40:31, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles." She acted. She forgave a supervisor who'd belittled her, wrote a goal to draft a mission statement, and started meeting with local volunteers. A retired teacher at one meeting offered to mentor her, and within months, her non-profit was funded by a community grant. Today, Naomi's organization supports dozens of kids. Her fear of inadequacy transformed into a legacy of hope. Her steps were small but mighty, unlocking a flood of divine provision. If this message is igniting your soul, if you feel Jesus' call urging you to climb higher, join this community of chosen ones. Type "I am rising to my calling" in the comments below. Let your words be a torch, lighting the way for heaven to see your commitment to your divine purpose. Your comment is a sacred act, a vow that binds you to the miracles waiting to unfold.